Welcome to the Goddess Conjurer podcast and show. I'm Christina Margaret, a holistic empowerment and sobriety coach. I'm also a spiritual badass and truth seeker. Join me as I chat with wicked guests who are down to get real with raw, unfiltered conversations inspired to help you level up your spiritual and personal expansion. So settle in, get cozy, get ready, and let's enjoy the ride. Hey guys, welcome to the Goddess Conjurer podcast and show. I'm your host, Christina Margaret. So here we are at the end of 2021. It has flown by for me. I don't know about you. Maybe it is just living in the perpetual state of chaos and hypervigilance. Usually makes things go a little quicker. But I didn't pop on to talk about any of that stuff today. I actually wanted to talk about the new year as it approaches. And perhaps you're getting into a state of where you are ready to create some New Year's resolutions, some goals. Maybe you're starting a new challenge. I just wanted to talk about the difference between, doing a 30-day challenge, doing a workout challenge, or I've done like Whole30, and I used to do no drinking in January, or only drinking on Fridays, or whatever it is. Only drinking on Fridays on January's. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing and starting, I kind of wanted to touch base on like, what's your why for that? So what are you doing it for? What is the goal? Is it a long term or is it short term? I know that when I was doing these things, most of the time my goals were always to lose weight. I usually was really good at letting things like fall apart in the winter, pretty much from Halloween until January 1st was easily a shit show for me. So it was amazing when I quit drinking how many holidays I related around drinking. So that was an interesting revelation for myself as I got into my recovery. So what is your goal? What are your goals for the year? And maybe not just having such a simple goal. If I want to drink more water this year, or I want to drink less booze, or I want to eat healthier, exercise more. Those are all great things. But something that's shifted for me as I wanted to take real radical responsibility for myself and my life and make real change, substantial change and long lasting changes, was that I didn't really have a goal. I haven't really had an end goal for this process that I'm still in. And I feel that as we evolve and we change as people and we choose growth over stagnancy, there is no big goal. Perhaps there are just a bunch of little goals and stepping stones. And last year I took on a trainer and started working with a trainer, and she was like, what's your goal? And I just didn't have one. I just didn't have a goal. I just knew that this was something I didn't want to end for me, and that I wasn't going to reach a certain tipping point or number on the scale or size on the measuring tape that was going to determine I was enough. Because I know from my own life, my own past, my own history, my behavior, that it will never be enough, that my size will never, ever, ever be enough. And so I wanted to shift that mindset. I wanted to change my way of being there. And so it just became about consistency. And it became about going forward and not quitting myself. because if I quit, it wasn't just a diet or a challenge that I would be quitting. I knew I would be quitting my life. And I just don't want to quit my life anymore. I wanted to take responsibility for all of my actions. And that meant more than paying attention to what I was ingesting physically. I didn't want to ingest alcohol anymore. I didn't want to ingest drugs. I don't want to ingest cigarettes. I don't want to ingest a lot of shitty food. But it also became about what I was ingesting in my media, in my television shows that I was watching, in the people that I was around. All of that was stuff that I knew that I was digesting. And some of it was too toxic to even digest. And so I had to make that shift, and I had to release a lot of those behaviors, choices, in order to make the change that I wanted to make. And none of that was easy, but it was really necessary to start moving me in a direction that I wanted to be in. So I treat the new year differently now. The new year now becomes an opportunity to create intentions. And I really do pride myself on intentional living now. And every decision that I make or things that I choose to go and do, I'm often asking myself, what's my intention here? What's my intention in creating a new program? What's my intention in working with women one-on-one, or hosting a retreat? Or what's my intention with this video and this podcast? So my intentions have become more crisp and more clear to me as I've become more aligned with my purpose. And because I'm not ingesting so much toxic bullshit anymore, the alignment is easier and things make more sense and they align better for me. They actually align instead of this constant fight or push or pull to make things happen that aren't meant to happen. And then when they do, they quickly fall apart, which is, shows me how they weren't meant to be. So where am I in clear on about setting intentions for the next year, and these little micro goals that we set, continue to create this intentional living and this purposeful life that I am trying to create, or that I am creating, right? These small little things, and really it just comes down to, this is the biggest hurdle that people get stuck with. And that is expecting to change when you're not willing to change. So you cannot change the same old you. You have to do the work, which means doing things differently. It's uncomfortable. And that's part of you fighting to stay in the same is probably means that the change is right. That part of you that pushes you back into your comfort zone, that's just the nervous system. Once you start to learn that, that's just the brain's way of keeping you safe your whole life. It's what it's always done. It's magical. It's a magical thing to see how beautiful the body is, the nervous system, and all of the work that it's done to protect you through all the shitty things that you've been through. And then it still tries to do that when you make change, even if it's for the better, because it just doesn't know, it doesn't trust, right? And so we change the relationship with that inner dialogue and that inner self. And then we start to build this relationship with this part of you that's afraid to move forward. So don't expect to go on a diet this January and it be different from last January, okay? Don't expect to keep doing the same things and have different results. We all know by now that that's the definition of insanity. So stop trying to be the same. And if you want to change your life and how you live it, then you have to step into that. You have to step into what isn't always comfortable. And you have to understand this idea of how we can really manifest what we want. So if I want to step into this new future of mine, I need to know what that future is going to feel like now. What do I see? How do I see myself acting? What do I wear? How do I behave? What do I eat? What do I read? What do I watch? How do I speak? How do I walk? All of these senses need to be firing in order for you to really embody the feeling of your future self. And then once you see that, you need to say like, okay, like, how am I going to get there? Well, you're not going to get there by pushing or pulling or dreaming about it. You got to start doing it. So if that part of you, has to get up earlier in the day to reach some goal that, is better, healthier living. If you need to get your ass in the gym, then get your ass out of bed earlier. Get your ass to bed earlier. If you need to start manifesting your life and you need to start cultivating a meditation practice, a better morning routine, an evening routine, then make yourself do it. You have to get real about how this is going to happen. And you also have to be aware of what part of you is going to show up and say, fuck no, I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to do it. I don't fucking like it. Because more times out of any, the part of you that doesn't want to get your ass out of bed in the morning is going to show up. You're not going to have that as many mornings that are like, yes, I'm ready to do this. Here I go. I'm jumping into my future. I love 5 a.m. I love this time of day. I love the rain. There's going to be parts of you that are like, fuck no, often. So how do you get there? How do you face that part of you that's going to show up and tell you like, you can't do this. You don't have this. You're not good enough. You're never going to do it. Nobody gives a shit what you have to say. You're worthless. All of those nasty belief systems, they're going to show up. They're going to show up 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10. They're going to keep there. And you're going to have to just say, fuck off. I don't believe you. I got to push through it. So you got to find that small percentage of you that's willing to jump into this empowered future. So how are you going to face that challenge that you're going to be faced with? How are you going to do the change that needs to happen? You got to be prepared for that when you work into manifesting. Otherwise you just quit. Oh shit, I craved alcohol again. Oh, well, might as well just drink. Or I drank, for quitting drinking and being around the most widely used substance, not an easy thing to just be okay with. It's going to show up. There's going to be booze everywhere. People drink. It's part of life. I got to make the choice, right? I got to know that part of me that just wants to numb the fuck out. That wants to party till 3 a.m, 4 a.m, 5 a.m. Maybe he wants to party for a week. Who knows? These pieces of me are going to show up. Some days they're not going to show up. That's going to be amazing. I'm going to feel stronger in who I am in those days, but that's not always who's there. So you've got to start facing these pieces of you that want to quit you, because they're going to be there, and you got to recognize them. And if you're not willing to even embrace those pieces of you, if you're not willing to actually understand that these pieces of you are going to show up, you're always going to quit. And that's why you're going to start a new diet in January. That's why you're going to start a new challenge in January. Or if it doesn't work out in January, then you're like, shit, here comes spring. I'm going to try again. And I'm only going to do this 30 days. Fucking give yourself a shot at life, give yourself a shot to go harder, do the distance, make a concrete goal to live a different life. And to be honest, be real. Know how that you're going to reach these obstacles. Don't think that it's just going to be all these flower fields. You got to know what needs to change about you. And that might mean not only you, but who's around you. And, what are you ingesting? Who are you taking in? Who are you spending your time with? Who's inspiring you in your life? It's not easy. Big decisions need to be made. And there's another thing. Here's the biggest thing. No one's coming to fucking save you. Okay. There's no knight in shining armor. God, I wanted that. My whole life, I wanted that. I was seeking that forever. I came from early childhood abuse, and I just wanted to be saved. I just wanted someone to come in, some man to come in and say, we're going to fucking take care of that shit for you. You're never going to be in pain again. You're never going to hurt again. You're never, ever going to have to worry again about anyone else coming in and hurting you. And I'm going to take it all away. And I looked for that in every single man, any man that I could ever wish upon walking into my life. And guess what? Nobody came. Nobody fucking came. So show up for yourself, okay? You're going to be your own knight in shining armor. And once I started to like be in my own driver's seat, put myself in the driver's seat of my own life, stopped counting on other people to save me, to make choices for me, to change my life, then shit started to change. You're not waiting for them to arrive for you to change, and stop picking up people and waiting for them to change before you can change. Everything's on you. Everything is been on me. No one, I for years got caught in so much codependent bullshit in my relationships. Oh, when, he quits, I'll quit. If he does this, if he does that, then I can do this, but I can't do it. I can't. I couldn't because I wouldn't. It was never on anybody else. Never. So when you start to think about what the next year of your life looks like, what do you want it to look like, right? Start taking that whole chunk of the year and saying, what the fuck do I want to do? What do I want to do with myself? What do I want to do with my life? How do I want to live it? I got to face this shit if I want, to get to plan C, but I got to go through A and B first. How are you going to get there? And you won't start to align into the life that you really want until you know that you've got to save yourself, right? And from that, you can have the life that you want to create. So what are you doing right now? And why don't you be more purposeful, intentional in your living, in your alignment? You're manifesting all the time anyways. Right now, you're manifesting your life. It might be subconscious, but you're doing it. So consciously and intentionally start picking the things that you want to do. And then things will change. Then things will align for you. Create a vision board. Look at that all year long. And in that vision board, create the idea of who you want to be, right? Use those senses within that vision board and put that somewhere that you see it every single day. Put notes on your mirror. I am enough. I am worthy. I am kicking ass. Whatever it is, you're the only person that's going to save you. You're the one that has to be in the driver's seat. And you're the one calling the shots, even when you feel like you're not. So wishing everybody the best for 2022. Let's hope that it's a less hypervigilant year. And, if we continue down the shitstorm that we have been facing, maybe, just maybe, you can do your own part to take good care of yourself. Make choices that work for you, for your life, for your body, for all the things that feel good to you. Get aligned, get intentional, and keep doing the work because you're worth it. Thank you. Happy New Year.
I came from the mud.